Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we educate you, and we inspire you. And today, I tell you what, we got a fireball of a guest today, all the way from the West Coast, not the East Coast, but the West Coast over there. So I'm excited to have her on board. She's a good friend of mine. I had a chance to really just connect with her and share some amazing memories, amazing growth in New York City, the Big Apple. So let's welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, Miss Cynthia Caughie. Woo-hoo!
Woo! I'm proud of you. You did it good.
You got to give you a round of applause. The crowd goes wild for Cynthia. Yeah! Cynthia, I know the amazing person you are. Do me a favor. Introduce yourself to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. You and I have become really good friends, so I am honored and thank you. So my name is Cynthia Caughie. I am a mom of 3 beautiful ladies. I am a restaurateur. I'm actually here now. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a best-selling author through a compilation book. I have my own book called You Can Do Hard Things. I am working on a journal right now, and I am also bringing one of my famous pizza products to market. So I'm very excited.
Well, I love the name of what you do, right? Your book, you have a book called You Can Do Hard Things, right? Is that the title of your book? I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did it.
Let me ask you this, because I love what you're doing, right? You're doing it. So many people talk about business, so many people talk about entrepreneurship, so many people talk about this and that, but you have actually a team of employees. You run a pizza parlor in California, but not only that, you went on this personal growth journey that just like, boop, it opened you up. And so many business owners don't do that. What happened that the light went on for Cynthia that she said, you know what, I need more, right? Because you were successful, you've been successful in your pizza parlor, but it wasn't enough. What was it that triggered you or that pushed you to get out there and become this personal growth now influencer that's helping a lot of men and women out there?
It is a crazy story of an ignite moment. And it was so insane to me. I'd always had just this little bit of a goal oriented, right? Anytime I started a job, I would want to get to the next level. When I was done with that, then I said, okay, where am I going next? And when I bought the restaurant here, I was like, okay, I've been here for 13 years serving in the restaurant. I was in it for a year. When I bought it, I was in it for a year. Didn't have a manager, soup to nuts, everything. I did everything. And I said, there has got to be more than this. I loved it, but I had this pull and I couldn't really figure it out. I didn't know. So I went searching, which I think is the key moment. I think the search, I didn't just accept what I had because I had it all. I have 3 wonderful ladies. I was married at the time. I own my restaurant. I'm well known in the community. And, that's a great life. That is an amazing life to have. And I just had this pull. I was really, really, I can't explain it more than that, but I knew there was something more. So here's my thing. Now looking back, and you and I know you're smiling because you're going to say that was God telling me, right? What's my next chapter? I know, but I didn't know it then. My spiritual journey just started a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And the entrepreneur journey started in 2019. So we're going on 3 years in October. It was my birthday and I bought a ticket to this event for real estate. It was Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Sylvester Stallone, and a myriad of other people. And I was like, this is for me. Like, I'm doing this. It was a $99 ticket. I stayed overnight. It was 2 days. I went by myself. And I think that sometimes that's really important, doing what you want versus what somebody else wants. And so as a mom of 3, it was an excuse. So I did it for my birthday. I was like, I bought this for my birthday, so I'm going. it's just something, but that was like my moment. I was like, there's more. And so I just told myself I was just going to keep searching and keep searching. I couldn't pinpoint it. I just knew in my heart, I was like, there's more, there's more. And
Wow.
I even say that in the book. But again, now just speaking it and knowing you and I, and, you know, the relationship that we have, I'm like, it was God just giving me those little clues, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a part of the show where we tell you, get out your pen, get out your paper, right? So get out your pen, get out your paper. You're going to take some notes because Cynthia's going to drop some massive, massive value here. And you definitely want to write it down because she's doing it, right? She's been a business owner for over a decade already. She's going out there. She has employees. She's working on herself. I mean, she's not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk. So you definitely want to take notes. So let me ask you this. You have a business. You said there has to be more. You go to this event. Let me ask you, why was it important that you went by yourself? Like you kind of mentioned that and you emphasized that. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but why was it important? Had you not done anything by yourself? Because I think there's so many people right now that they want somebody to hold their hand through everything. And I think sometimes you got to just take action on your own. What was significant about you going to this event with Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins, just really taking action by yourself?
I think a lot of people seek answers in someone else, but you really have to look inside. During this whole self-development process, I found that it all starts and ends with you. It comes from the inside. You know, success starts on the inside. The reason why I really wanted to go by myself is so that I could explore, I could answer the questions. Nobody else was going to lead me one way or the other. It was all me. And it's interesting too. The other thing is in my life, and I find this a lot now, is that we don't have that one person that you can have a hard conversation with, right? So for me,
Yeah, but this is real
I
talk. So
said, I
I'm
need to
glad we're
look,
talking.
that's right. For me, I need to look inside. I can't ask my spouse at the time. I can't ask my grandma. They all have different views, right? They're talking about things that are not for only for you, but also involve them, right? And for
Yes.
me, it it was such a pull. I needed to figure it out. It was for me. I
Ladies and
needed to
gentlemen,
do it.
so listen to what Cynthia's saying here. Listen to what she's saying. So many times we want somebody's validation of what we're going to do. We want somebody's approval of what we're about to do. And what Cynthia's saying, maybe the next step for you, maybe the next step for you in life, in business, as a small business owner or entrepreneur, is you don't need anybody's validation. You don't need anybody's approval. What you need is the courage to trust your heart. And for Cynthia, it was listening to that inner voice, God saying, hey, let's try this. Let's go out there and venture out of what you know, right? Out of your comfort zone. So maybe right now you're mad at a best friend. Maybe right now you're mad at your spouse because they're not giving you that validation and not giving you that approval that you want. Maybe it's not for them to give it to you because like Cynthia said, they're going to jade it. They're going to distort what is really meant for you. And you got to go on this next season of your life by yourself. And I can relate to that, Cynthia, because I remember when I started my entrepreneur journey, I was lonely. Like I made a decision to become a motivational speaker. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Boom. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm by myself. Because nobody understood me locally, what I was doing, much less anywhere in the world. I didn't know anybody that was actually, that I could talk to about, hey, being a motivational speaker. But like you said, I went on a search. I had to go out there and okay, like I got an idea from God, but what do I do? So you go to this event, and what did you discover about yourself? Like, I love what you said, and your truth, it's 100% right. The truth is, it starts from the inside. Success is in the inside. The change comes from within. So if we don't like your life right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the outside, you got crap in the inside that you need to change. So what did you find out about yourself, Cynthia?
It's so true. And you know, my heart kind of leaps when we talk about it because it's so important. We don't take the time to learn ourselves. Like I said, what we do is we take everybody's opinion or everybody's, view of us, right? And so we don't take the time to learn ourselves. So when I went, I really wanted to go to see Anthony Robbins. You know, he's the big guru. He's the one who says, you know, I'll get you to change, you know, XYZ. And I ended up really liking Grant Cardone. He came in, stole the show, full of fire, just out there. And I was like, who is this guy? And he gave a free seminar after. And one of the things that he said in his talk was, I'm this little guy from Louisiana. If I can do it, you can do it. And he was just out there. And I've got energy, right? I mean, you know me, I've got some energy, and Tony Robbins was amazing, but Grant Cardone really spoke to me. And that's really when I felt the fire of an entrepreneur inside of me. I mean, before that, I was a business owner. I didn't even really know what an entrepreneur was. And so it sparked me. That was like my big spark. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And so then I started to talk to a few people around me. Nobody really knew who Grant Cardone was in that particular moment. I even left the seminar early because I was like, I'm good. I got what I wanted. And so I left and I just started to search him and get more information on him. And so again, it was for me. It was for me. It wasn't for the 3 kids. It wasn't for the restaurant. It wasn't for my employees. It was for me. I knew inside of me that I wanted more.
So ladies and gentlemen, listen to what Cynthia's saying. She's saying what she needed wasn't found in her daily environment. Sometimes you got to get outside experiences to what you're comfortable with, right? We're all comfortable. We're all creatures of habit. We all, human nature is we don't like change, but you have to put yourself in a different environment to get a different experience. We said again, you have to put yourself in a different environment to get a different experience. And then she meets a total stranger and Grant speaks to her heart. Think about that. Who doesn't? I'm saying everybody knows about Grant, but look at how big the world is in so many ways also. It's so small, but it's so big that you never heard of him. And that spoke to you and it just sparked an entrepreneur spirit. So I'm curious because you said that's interesting because you've owned a business up to this point. I mean, you have a pizza parlor.
Yeah.
What changed in your business after you left the conference that you're like, well, I got a business and I guess I never thought about it. I'm an entrepreneur now. Like what happened with inside your business?
It was really divine timing because little did we know COVID was right around the corner. So in 2019, I had owned it for a year. And I said to myself, okay, I've hit my lid, right? I don't know anymore. I don't have a business degree. I've served in this restaurant for 13 years. I know it like the back of my hand, but now I really want to get it to flourish. I really want it to shine, but I didn't know how. And you know, in my circle, I have some, you know, business owners and things like that. And I don't know why I really didn't reach out inside. Maybe I was scared. Maybe I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to know that I don't know the answer. You know, I have this business. So I started with this group in the 10X community. And in all honesty, I want to be completely transparent because a lot of times, you know, people look at my story and things like that, and they're like, oh my God, it was so easy. Well, let me tell you, it wasn't easy. And so this is why I always say you can do hard things because you look at it and you go, oh my gosh, I can't do that. It's so hard. Like, so I entered into this community, the 10X community, business owners all over the world making millions of dollars. Here I am, this sweet little girl is what I felt like going into this huge ocean. And I'm this little tiny minnow. Here I come. And so I backed off a little bit. It took me probably 3 or 4 months. And I was like, okay, it's not going where I wanted to. I did invest. I invested $997 to go to GrowthCon in 2020. So here it is, December of 19, and I hired my first business coach. Never had one before. And I was like, okay, again, new level, new experiences. I need new insight. I need new information. I need new experiences. So 10X GrowthCon in 2020 blew the lid off of my beliefs because I was a 1-year restaurant owner going into 2 years, wanting it to be better, but not knowing how. And so that really was a big turning point for me. It was investing and believing in myself. Remember, I thought I was this little tiny minnow. And I just had to accept the fact that I was right where I was. I'm an advanced beginner. That's what I told myself. And that I would get to, those other experiences and be, up the ladder. But, one of the lines, that you and I discussed is a quote from John Maxwell. You don't go to the top, you grow to the top. So if you don't have the new experiences, if you don't invest in yourself, then what happens?
I love what you're saying, because there's, because I'm a pretty amazing business coach myself.
I would second that.
but in all seriousness, right? Because I see so many clients that they make the investment into a franchise or into a business, or they start their own business, however way they get it up and running, like you did. So you took that first step of courage, right? You overcame whatever fearness, whatever feeling of being scared, you overcame that. So many people, the next step, they never do it. They never invest in themselves. And I love the analogy, because you weren't saying I was this big old shark in the ocean. I was ready, right? I was a little minnow, scared is what I hear you, and you backed off. So what gave you the courage to invest even more in yourself? Because that's where 90% of the businesses fail, is because they never take that next step and invest that next level. And it wasn't much, right? It wasn't much, but I can tell you, to many business owners, it is. So what do I mean by that is that $997, it's a lot when you're the business owner, and it's your money going into the business. When I ran multi-million-dollar dealerships, man, my budget was $1 million a month, and I would spend it, right? Because we would turn it. I mean, we were making money, spending money, buying cars. We go to the auction, hey, 400,000, boom, let's go, write the check. And I'm used to these big checks, but when I started my own business, it's like a $500 check was a lot. $1,000 check was a lot. A $5,000 one, I was like, oh, Elizabeth, it's the big one, Elizabeth. I was like Fred Sanford. I'm serious.
Hey,
but now these bigger numbers, right? They don't intimidate me, because now I'm at the forefront. I'm making these decisions. So what do you have to say to that person right now? Because there's somebody listening to this, and they made the initial investment. So this is what they're saying. I can hear them already. Daniel, Cynthia, you don't understand. I've already invested $3,000 in this, and it ain't going nowhere, and I'm not going to invest no more. And then it dies. Let's be real, right? But you invested thousands and thousands into your pizza parlor, and then you still took that next step. So I understand that $997 is a crap load of money when it's your money and you're the business owner. What gave you the courage? Speak to those people right now, because somebody needs your help, and they're stuck. They're stuck. They don't want to admit it, but maybe because they're hearing it from a woman here in the Daniel Goes Inspired, she's gonna be like, maybe she's right.
So I've learned, and I will tell you, you're not stuck. You've just lost perspective, right? For the people who spend the money and then don't do anything with the course or the book or the, community, you have to ask yourself why. Well, why did you buy it in the first place? And then why are you stuck? Becoming self-aware and knowing who you are is one of the best gifts that you will ever give yourself. Because once you figure those things out, you will know what you need to do in order to become unstuck. Because you're not truly stuck. You either don't have the answer, you haven't done it before, right? So like you said, you have to have the courage. You have to have the courage to do it. Somebody once asked me, what is the one thing that you could, tell people? What's the one thing? For me, I believe it's confidence. Now, courage is kind of coupled in there, but I say confidence is worth more than money. You can't buy it. You have to build it inside of you, right? You have to have the belief. You have to have the confidence inside. And so even as I say it, because confidence is a type of courage, right? But courage you can get in an instant. I think confidence you build. So through the process of my book, and I say you can do hard things, you have to learn how to make a decision, right? Just because you bought the course doesn't mean you're going to decide to do the work. So if you're not doing the work, then you have to decide why. Well, you don't know unless you've done some inside work and saying, well, either it's scary to me because I've never done it before, or I bought it, but I don't believe I can do it. So the confidence on the inside, I think, is really what we need to work on. And I know that you talk about that all the time.
Well, you can't win. The truth is, you can't win without confidence. You can't. Think about every NBA championship, every baseball championship, right? The World Series is going on, or the playoffs is going on. You can't win without confidence. You can't. No, you tell me someone who's won without confidence. There's no such a thing, because you have to have the belief in your abilities and the belief in yourself.
That's right. And I just want to drill on that for just a second, because confidence is on the inside. Nobody can give you the confidence. They can encourage you, right? But they can't give you your confidence. It's the same thing, like nobody can really take it away. They can chip at it, right? They can say things that make you feel not confident. But I have learned how to keep my confidence, how to build it. It's with grit.
Let me ask you this. This is great. I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, we're taking notes, because
this is a good one.
Some massive value. She's dropping some massive value. What are two things that you did that our audience can take away that can help them build their confidence? Or, like, once again, they just got beat up. The first quarter wasn't the way they wanted. The second quarter wasn't good in business. They're thinking about giving up. What are two things that people can do to build their confidence?
Well, my very first one is my grit model. But I think it starts with when you change what you think, it changes how you think. So if somebody's gotten knocked down and they, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Why did I do this? You know, I'm not good at this. And you're beating yourself up, right? So you're telling yourself that. You're also hearing it from the outside, which I totally get. But it's what you think, right? And so then it changes how you think. So I don't take any of that in. People can tell me whatever they want. I'm a fiery redheaded Italian, and I'm going to tell you what I think.
I can attest that.
I mean, I'm just saying. So, but that comes from inside of me. I have built that. So when I was starting the self-development process, right? I've always had confidence. I'm not going to lie. I've always said, if it's to be, it's up to me. So I had to take that step. I think that's another thing. That's why I had to do that. So one thing I would say is, if you don't have the confidence, that's when you need to ask yourself why. What things in your circle are telling you? What things inside of you are telling you that you don't have it, or that you don't have the ability? What is the belief? Where did it come from?
Ooh, I love that, right? No one's ever said so. See, I love this, because the way you're answering, correct me if I'm wrong, is usually when I ask this question, well, what are two things that we can do to build our confidence? They give me like do-da-da. But you're saying, what do you need to take away from your life that's keeping your confidence from being built?
Well,
maybe it's right. Maybe it's you're blind to the fact that your best friend is, hey, guess what?
Yes.
Draining your confidence away, because he or she is saying, do you really think you can succeed? Do you really want to do that? Your life's okay. You don't have it so bad.
Right.
That stuff like that is what you're talking about, right?
Yep. So many times I heard it. So many times.
Wow. You're doing good. You have a pizza parlor. What else do you want? You're not happy?
Well, and
I'm just saying, did you ever hear that?
But remember the outside world is not. This is a hard line for me, because people say, well, some people say the inside is a direct reflection of the outside. I don't always believe that to be true, because don't judge a book by its cover, right? You are the only person who knows what you're dealing with on the inside. What's in here? What recording is happening over and over and over again. You know what I mean? I mean, look at all of these actors. I hate to use them as the example, but they all look perfect on the outside. They're walking the red carpet. They got the money. They got the this. They got the that. But who are they really on the inside?
I was
Right?
gonna say a joke, but probably wouldn't be nice. Yeah, they're. I was gonna say they're slapping machines.
Well, I'm just, you know,
But no, you're right, because the thing is this is that we're all human. And even though things look perfect on the outside, talking about Will Smith, you think he has it all together. But there comes a point where this is I love this, right? Because there comes a point, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Will Smith. I don't care if you're who you are. Ed Milet, if you're Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, you're gonna need the true and living God one time, and you're at some point you're gonna need the real God, and I mean that. And life comes to you, and what comes to example when you said that, it breaks my heart, right? Because I think of the great Robin Williams, right? He was
exactly.
laughing, he was full of
Yep.
love, he seemed to have it together.
Yep.
And a lot of times, comedians, especially, right? I've learned this because I have two dear friends who are comedians, and they use comedy to cover up the hurt. And look, he took his own life. So you're right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to what Cynthia's saying, because maybe right now you're following somebody on LinkedIn, you're following somebody on Facebook
Yep.
or Instagram, and you say, "Man, this person has it all together." But little do you know that they take 20 selfies before they post a perfect one, and then they Photoshop it, and then they're struggling from alcoholism, or they're struggling on the other side, and you're somebody like this, that disease where you make yourself vomit. I can't think, anorexia. Think about that.
And I
That's
want
powerful what you're saying, though. It's
well,
really
I want to
powerful.
emphasize it again, because I have learned, you know, it literally all starts and ends with you. You have one life to live. Why live it for somebody else? Live it for you. But the biggest thing is, who are you? Who are you on the inside? So when you change what you think, it will change how you think. When you're not doing life for somebody else, when you're doing it for you, your decisions will change, your beliefs will change, your confidence will build. And here's the other thing. This is what I've really learned.
Yeah.
When you have all of those things in motion, when you make decisions quicker, you take more action. When you take more action, you build momentum. When you build momentum, nobody's gonna catch you. I'm like,
but baby, what? There you go. Listen to that.
Come get me.
There you go. Yeah, right. You make quicker decisions. You take quicker decisions, lead to quicker action, lead to more momentum.
Yep.
And they can't catch you. And you know why so many people don't make quicker decisions? Because they're looking to the left and to the right and worried about everybody else. And the reason they don't take quicker action is because now they're comparing themselves. So they never get the results that they deserve because they're focused on everybody else except
me, you. It's you. It's
wow.
this
is good stuff.
It's a really interesting concept. And let me just tell you, can I show my book really quick?
Yeah, of course. No, you can't.
Well, I just want to say this because
let me get a poll from everybody on the audience. They said no. Yes, you can show it.
So the writing of the book process came from me having this fire. I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody tell me this? Self-development is the most amazing thing that I've ever found, right? Self-development, it's self-work. It's the inside work.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I learned is to trust myself. When I wrote the book, You Can Do Hard Things, they wanted me to put the emphasis on the word can. You can do hard things. And I said, no. It's really all about you. So the emphasis is on you can do hard things. And the reason why I wanted it to be that way is because without you, nothing's going to get accomplished. You're not going to learn who you are on the inside, right?
Yes.
The tagline for the book is to be proactive with your growth and not reactive with your life. So
what did you learn through your book? You can do hard things. What did you learn that you could do that was hard?
I could be me.
Why was that hard?
I'm a mom of 3. I was married at the time. I'm somebody in the community. You know, you tend to take on what life has in front of you,
So you
right?
lost your identity through the marriage, through your kids, right?
I mean,
No,
I've
I'm
always
asking
been a
because,
fiery redhead. I've always
yeah,
had that Italian, you know, nobody's going to tell me what to do. But there was a
you know,
vulnerable,
because somebody's listening to this and they're like, they're a mom, they have
yeah,
3 kids,
right.
they're married, but I asked you, what's the hard, you can be, I said, what's the, you can do hard things. What is it? He said, you can be you.
Mhm.
I think somebody needs to hear that right now because their identity is in their children.
Yes.
Their identity is in their husband or if it's a male, their spouse.
Right.
And what comes to mind, the reason I ask you that, because I think you'll give a good explanation of this, is that I had a client one time and she was taking it very hard. And I said, well, what's going on, right? We were just talking and going through the sessions, and she was feeling totally lost because now her kids were off to college and no one needed her. She was that mother that would drop off the kids at practice, pick them up, get their lunch ready. Guess what? Her whole day was gone. Now her 2 children were in college away in another state. Her identity was stripped of her, and it wasn't an easy thing to regain that. And we definitely worked through that, but somebody needs to hear your perspective of what I just said.
Well, let me just say this also. I learned from a friend, this was through the business coaching, and we talk a lot about you, right? And they say, who before what? Who are you before what are you, right? I'm not just a restaurant owner. I'm not just an entrepreneur. That's what I am. But who am I on the inside? I'm a loving, caring, driven, contagiously optimistic, right? Businesswoman who is constantly working to self-evolve to become the best version of me. I will constantly work on myself to be better so that I can give and show other people what their potential is. I learned leadership late in life, but leadership is part of a passion that I have because I don't believe that people have that they don't have that belief inside of them, right?
I'm still learning
Somebody told
leadership
me
too,
I
so
was
don't
a
worry.
leader.
I'm still learning it, but I love what you're saying. So if there was one thing that you really learned about yourself, that you can do hard things, what was that one takeaway that you got about, man, I can really do this? I can really genuinely do this. What was that?
It's a
What was
great
it?
question. Again, my confidence really grew. There are different levels of courage, right?
Yeah, for
Different levels.
sure.
I can go up to somebody and, you know, ask them for their opinion. That's one thing. But to buy the restaurant, the courage to buy the restaurant and say, yes, I can do this. That was probably my biggest leap. That was probably my biggest, okay, this is in me, right? And that was before I learned that I was an entrepreneur. That was before I truly became the business owner that I am. So the moment I would say, you know, really, I know I can do this, I'm going to say I didn't really have one. I'm going to say it's a natural progression. The more you do, right?
Yeah.
The more confidence you gain. The more confidence you gain, the more courage you have, the more decisions you make, the more actions you take. It's a vicious cycle, but it's a beautiful thing.
I love
But
it.
you got to start. So if you don't start in the beginning, you won't get to those extra 3 steps to get you to that momentum, which is where people tend to fall off.
Mm. So somebody's listening to this. They don't believe they can do hard things. Take a minute or two and speak to their heart right now. Just look into camera, talk to that man, talk to that woman. They're beat up. We'll just say life caught up to them, and they just are giving up. They're crying out to God for a sign. Cynthia's their sign. Talk to them.
I would really encourage you to really ask yourself, what do I want? So many times we don't know. And that is where our discouragement comes from. We don't have the clarity. We don't know what we want. So that's the biggest, hardest question that I have found for people to answer. It is the very first question in my book. And I say, ask yourself, not about what your spouse wants, not about what your kids want. What do you want? The clarity will bring so much peace that you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's really what I want. I want to be that business owner. I want to be that PTA mom. That's really what I want in my heart. What's in your heart that you really want? And when you ask yourself that, and you are truthful with your answer, that is when you will see change. That is when progress starts. Be truthful with yourself.
Boom, look at that. Wow.
It's a hard thing. Truth.
Yes. So hold up your book again, ladies and gentlemen. Go out and get this book. It's on Amazon. You Can Do Hard Things by Cynthia Caughie. You, emphasize the you with the heart there. Y-O-U, can do hard things. Go out and get your copy. Cynthia, what is a scripture or a quote that you rely on during hard times?
Oh, goodness.
A scripture or a quote?
So I am a huge quote girl. I am a huge quote girl. One of my affirmations, and that I do say every day. I actually have two. Can I say two?
Yeah, sure. The first one's
well,
free.
I've learned, right? So today I choose to live out of my imagination and not my memory. Ooh, so many times we go back, we take our experiences, we live in the past. It's not where I am. I'm going to the future. So I'm going to live out of my imagination. The second one is, and a friend of mine helped me craft this one, is I have the courage and confidence to live my true potential. When I'm scared and I'm like, oh no, this is new for me, I'm like, yes, you can. I have the courage and confidence to live my true potential. And
boom, baby.
I literally write those every day. Every day.
Do you really?
Yeah, just like you write your affirmations, you write your millionaire mind. It is powerful. Yeah. You have everything you need inside of you. Once you learn who you are, you will just be amazed at how quickly you will grow.
I love it. How do we get a hold of you?
I could speak for another hour on this.
We might have to bring you back for
passionate.
episode 2. I
am so passionate on you. You.
No, I feel it, right? So if someone wants to connect with you, how do they get a hold of you? Where they can?
Well, my website is an absolute wealth of everything that I'm doing. So you can find me on all platforms, including my website at Cynthia Caughie. Everything, every single platform.
Awesome. So, we'll definitely put all her information in the show notes. Cynthia, you've been amazing. You've been a big blessing. And thank you so much for joining us here today. Hold up your book one last time, Cynthia. Go to Amazon right now. Get a copy of her book. And I love it, right? You Can Do Hard Things. Go get that on Amazon. And listen to what she said, right? Success comes from on the inside. But ask yourself that question. What do you want? Not what does your husband want? What does your wife want? What does your girlfriend want? What does your mom or dad want? What does your kid want? What do you want in this current season of your life? Ask yourself that hard question, and maybe that's where the breakthrough goes. And this
I would like to offer this because as you say, God just told me to do it. I honestly he just did. He said, anybody who goes on my website and orders this book, I'll put a code in there. It says Daniel. You can have it for free. I'll give you my book. I'll put a code in that says you put Daniel, and we know that you listen to this podcast, and I would love to send you the book for free.
I love the code. Wow. Thank you.
I should have said DG.
Yeah. No,
Daniel's good. I don't want to confuse people. Daniel.
So right now, go to Cynthia's website as you listen to this episode here on YouTube or on iTunes, Spotify. Put in the code word Daniel, my name, and you get a free hard copy of the book. So get that out there. Cynthia, you've been a big blessing. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing episode today here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. Cynthia Caughie, all the way from the West Coast there in California. If you're stuck in life, if you're stuck in business, go to danielgomezglobal.com. That's danielgomezglobal.com. Do our entrepreneur assessment. We want to give you that for free. And send me a message through our website. Send me a message. I want to give you a complimentary discovery session. But better yet, what if I could help you relieve the financial stress? What if I can help you to stop living paycheck to paycheck? What if I can help you get more money, more revenue in your business? Go to the makingsofamillionairemind.com, get our course, apply for our scholarship, and yet also while you're there, get our book. I'll tell you what, if you buy the course today, I'm going to give you an autographed copy of our book at no additional cost, plus the scholarship. We have 3 scholarships left over for this week. We have a sponsor that helps us do this, right? Go to the makings with an S, the makingsofamillionairemind.com, get our course. It's going to change your life. Think about this. What if I can help you stop arguing with your wife or your husband about money? That in itself is priceless. We'll see you next week here on the Daniel Gomez Inspires.
This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to danielgomezinspires.com and get your copy today. That's danielgomezinspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.